Today, we're talking about the Big Baby. Boxing fans love building fighters up, but they also love tearing them down even faster. One minute, a fighter is the future, and the next minute, one loss happens and suddenly he's exposed. He's overrated and he was never that good. And that's exactly what happened to Jared Anderson, the person we're going to talk about today. So today, I'm not going to bring you highlights and I'm not going to bring you Twitter takes. I want to give you the real story, who Jared Anderson is, where he comes from, what shaped him, what that loss really meant to him, and why his story is nowhere near over yet. Jared Dovan Anderson was born November 16, 1999 in Toledo, Ohio. And Toledo matters a lot because Toledo isn't a glamorous place. It's a working class Rust Belt city. There's factories, warehouses, long shifts, and hard winters there. It's the kind of place where people wake up early, work with their hands, and don't complain about much. There's pride there, but there's also a lot of struggle. Jared grew up in a large family with multiple siblings, and he's known as the youngest of three boys. As he was growing up, he was watching how hard his parents work. He was watching his older siblings make choices, the good ones and the bad ones. And one of the most impactful things in Jared's life was his older brother, Adam Dub Anderson, being incarcerated for a long custodial sentence. That wasn't just a headline, that was real life for him. That was birthdays missed, that was years gone, and that was a constant reminder of how fast life can flip. Jared has talked openly about how that affected him, how it forced him to grow up faster, and how it made him understand the consequences early. And on top of all of that, he's spoken about the pressure of helping support his family, his parents both in their 60s, his siblings, and everybody around him. That's not fantasy pressure, that's real world pressure. That's the kind of pressure that sits on you even when you're winning. Now here's something important. Jared didn't just decide to box one day because he wanted some belts. His mother actually played a huge role. She's the one that helped him get into the gym. She's the one that pushed him into boxing. And even more important, she never let him quit because Jared has admitted early on that he didn't like boxing. He wanted out. He wanted to stop. But she saw something in him. And sometimes the people closest to you see the path before you even do. Jared started boxing around 8 or 9 years old through the Police Athletic League, the PAL program in Toledo. And if you've ever been around the PAL gyms, you know what the environment is like. It's not pretty, it's not fancy, it's discipline, structure, and accountability. And Jared needed just that, because by his own words, he was a rowdy kid, high energy, hard to sit still, easy to get into trouble. Boxing gave him somewhere to put all of that. It gave him rules, it gave him consequences, and it gave him an outlet. His early coach, Derry Riley, played a big role in keeping him focused, not just teaching how to punch, but how to show up, how to listen, and how to stay consistent. Now let's talk about his nickname, the Big Baby. That name came early to him. Jared was always big for his age, but he also had a youthful face and a playful personality. So teammates, local gym members, started calling him Big Baby, and instead of running from him, it stuck with him. Before the pros ever came calling, Jared Anderson was already elite. His amateur resume is no joke. We're talking about multiple USA Boxing National Championship, 2017 and 2018 elite titles, junior and youth national championships, represented the United States internationally, got a gold medal at the Youth Vanderburg Cup in Germany. By 2019, he was one of the top ranked amateur heavyweights in the entire country. And this wasn't just because he was strong, it was because he could move also. Fast hands, combinations of punch, and athletic footwork. That's rare for a heavyweight, especially one that is young, and that is exactly why Top Rank took notice of him. Jared turned pro in October 2019 at just 19 years old, and immediately Top Rank positioned him as a future star. His pro debut, a first-round knockout over Daniel Infante, and from there on, it was momentum. Knockouts stacking up, main card appearances, commentators calling him the future. In 2021, he wins the NABF heavyweight title, stopping Vladimir Tereshchenko in the second round. He goes on to collect and defend regional belts like the WBO International and the WBC US NBC title. He beats seasoned veterans like Charles Martin and Andriy Rudenko. By late 2025, his record stands at 19 fights, 18 wins, 15 knockouts, and 1 loss. And before we talk about that loss, I want to talk about the outfits, the walkouts, and the personality he has. Because that's one of the main things I like about him. Jared isn't just a fighter, he has personality, and that matters a lot. He's outgoing, he's charismatic, and he's playful, and that shows in his ring walks. One of the most talked about moments was when he walked out in the prison-themed gear with chains, and that was one of my favorite gimmicks. However, that wasn't just a gimmick, that was personal. That was about his brother, about the incarceration his brother had. That was reality. It was him saying, this is my life, this is my story, and this is what I'm fighting against. And fans noticed, commentators noticed, because it wasn't flashy, it was symbolic. Some people laughed, but I thought that was legendary. Now let's talk about the loss that he suffered. On August 2024, Jared Anderson faced Martin Bakole. This wasn't a prospect fight anymore, this was a true test. Bakole is a big man, he's strong, he's durable, and he's experienced. And for the first time, Jared couldn't just overwhelm someone. The fight showed something important. Jared fought with his heart, but he fought too honest. He was standing in front too much. He was trading too much with a bigger man and not enough adjustment. And that night, he took his first professional loss, losing the WBO International Heavyweight belt, and the reaction was brutal. Suddenly, people switched up on him. Some fans who praised him started doubting him, and some analysts who hyped him started questioning him. But that's boxing nowadays. A loss nowadays is like getting killed. But that loss really showed that Jared wasn't bad. It showed that he was young and that he was still learning. It showed he rushed this fight. It showed that this was a lesson for him. And the truth is, that loss can be the best thing that could happen to him. Sure, he lost his 0, but now he will learn patience, improve his defense and footwork, stop brawling unnecessarily, especially with bigger guys, take smart tune-up fights again, and reset mentally. Heavyweights peak later. He's really young, he's athletic, and he's very powerful. Jared Anderson's story isn't finished yet. It's just more honest now, because now we get to see who he is when things aren't perfect, and that's where real champions are made.